Mr. President, Mr. Majority Leader, Assistant Majority Leader, members of Council, members of the Mayor's Cabinet. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My name is William M. Cody. I live at 1225 41st Street Northwest, Canton, Ohio, 44709. On November 6, 2013, there was a feeling of elation and anticipation that the next 2 years were going to be the beginning of a renaissance in the city of Canton. With the election of new members of council, the feeling was a breath of fresh air and the spirit of change for the better. What have we seen to date? In a legal meeting on December 17th that was not posted 24 hours in advance, the insult of playing politics and going into executive session so the constituents that were there could not see the discussion for Majority Leader and Assistant Majority Leader. The law director told them they could not vote, have a straw poll, or elect the two leaders. After the meeting, it is announced that Ms. Smith has been unanimously elected Assistant Majority Leader, and Mr. Frank Morris has been elected Majority Leader with President Shulman breaking the tie. If that is not a vote, what the hell is it? Next, we come down to the first council meeting of the year, and instead of families of council members being there to see and participate in swearing-in ceremonies and a photo op, we see a circus. The petty politics of the evening was disgusting. I personally found it reprehensible to have the race card introduced into the discussion. To say I and many members of the city of Canton are upset would be an understatement. The people of Canton did not elect politicians. We elected legislators who would put the city of Canton first and enact legislation to get things done. The sideshow that is going on is keeping the 12 of you from doing what you were elected to do. I would like to know the following. One of the 12 policemen and 12 firemen that have been promised for over a year going to be appointed. What date? I also want to know if in fact the 5 policemen and 9 firemen who are expected to retire, when are they going to be replaced and on what date? When is the council going to stop the mayor from raiding the capital improvement funds to pay our light bill and other items that should be under the general fund? The people are annoyed that there is not enough money in the capital improvement account to pave your streets, or our streets. Every ward in the city looks like a battleground. The streets are full of potholes and no money to take care of them. I find Band-Aid Jamie's approach to taking care of this problem unacceptable. And in conclusion, I hope the citizens of Canton are asking one thing of each of you. Do your job. The job you were elected to do. Never mind the politics, just do.
I'm Bruce Norman. I reside at 1623 Logan Avenue Northwest. This evening I'm here to talk about the majority leader position. First of all, I want to offer congratulations to Councilman Smith in her new position. And I know she will do. I'm looking around here. I got to get refocused. There you are. I know you're going to do a fine job, and we'll be looking forward to working with you in that position. We're here representing Group 175 to support Frank Morris for Majority Leader. He's our councilman for Ward 9, which I'm a member of, and he's done an outstanding job in holding regular meetings with all of the members of the ward and seeking their opinions. And even sometimes when the members' opinions or the residents' opinions are different than Frank's, he has always carried his residents' opinions forward. And I think that that's an indication of very strong leadership who's willing to reach out to his residents. Obviously, he, through Group 175's involvement, sponsored the informal resolution for the park levy money to be devoted to public safety, and for which we applaud him. I think that was a very, very bold step. We're concerned about checks and balances in government. We feel that governments operate effectively when there are checks and balances between the legislative and the administrative functions. And I think Frank will do a wonderful job in representing the city in that endeavor. Now, we've heard some comments about diversity, and I'm going to touch on that for a second. And if I was the councilman of Ward 2 or Ward 4, I would most certainly push for those viewpoints. But as a public policy, I would think that in the interest of the city, if we have the two key voting positions in Ward 2 and Ward 4, it won't properly represent the total interest of the city. So with that reason, I would also ask that you support Frank Morris.
I'm Stephanie Sweeney. I live at 4725 Cleveland Avenue Northwest. Though I'm currently in Edmund Mack's ward, I was a resident of Ward 9 for 5 years, and up until the last 3 months of Councilman Morris's term, I was a resident of Ward 9. So I'm here to speak on his behalf and support the decision to make him the majority leader. I'd personally like to talk a little bit about the whole back and forth that's been going on. I'm questioning whether or not he is the majority leader. Majority rules, that's the way government works, that's the way our democracy works. And I believe if we continue to go back and forth on this issue, that it's going to get in the papers. It already is in the papers. I see cameras here. I've seen blogs written about it. And that makes the public lose confidence in their council if we can't make a decision on an important matter. So I think the best decision is to put this at rest, because it really does make people lose confidence and think that our council can't govern here in the city. Like I said, I was a resident of Ward 9. And I went through several different councilmen in my 5 years in Ward 9, and I had never seen a councilman inspire people like Councilman Morris has done. Ward 9 has had we've had our fair share of back and forth, and we've had several different councilmen, and I really saw people rally behind Councilman Morris. To me, leadership is not something that's earned, that you are necessarily given. It's something that you have. And he has inspired people, and he has put the best interests of the city at the forefront when it comes to safety. And I think that that's sometimes not a popular issue, but he has been really relentless in making sure that legislation is passed, that the people of the city actually want, and I think that's really important.
My name is Pete DiGiacomo. I live at 600 Dent Place, Southwest Canton, Ohio. This evening when I sat back there and listened to, I believe it was the rules and everything we were going over, it was very refreshing. Council people were joking with one another, they're laughing with one another. It seemed like kumbaya, all that stuff. I mean, we know it's not. Okay. And it isn't funny. It ain't funny a damn bit. This thing with the majority leader, now they want to have another vote or some type of thing like that. This is kind of like a deja vu. Swanson, mayor, heads are nodding, okay. The Democrats, I said it before a couple times, instead of being divided, work together. Do you all agree? No, I don't expect you to agree. But at least try not to drive more spikes in between one another. Whoever, however you want to take it. I usually don't write stuff down, but I did, now I'm lost. The other thing was there was folks here last week at the meeting, very seldom come to city council meetings. And they came up here, they spoke what they believed, but not what they knew. They spoke very highly of Tom, and that's good, because I have nothing against him. Then the one gentleman kind of belittled Mr. Morris about his qualifications, he didn't have it, this and that. If the people that come up here don't realize all you folks up here do the damnedest best job that you know how to do. So when I'm sitting back there and somebody comes up and starts nitpicking at whoever, if you don't want to know what you're talking about, you really shouldn't be talking. So I hope I know what I'm talking about.